Alright, so I'm walking in an area called the North Bund. This is, I've explored some of this area before, not this, I don't think this particular street, so we'll see what's here together. So this is just a little path, a little greenway kind of area off of the main road here a little bit. So here you see some of these buildings. So I think these are probably older buildings from Shanghai's older past would be my guess. A lot of the new buildings are your big skyscrapers and stuff like that. So although down the street there's not been a lot of active shops, like lots of things have been closed, so there's not a whole lot interesting right here in this spot. I know coming up we'll go by the Russian consulate, so we'll be coming up on it pretty soon. So we'll get a look at it. See the Russian flag, so it's, you know, it's there for the local Russian people, kind of like there's an American consulate, but we're not close to where the American consulate is. Alright, so something that you'll see here with the stoplights is when it gets ready to change, they'll start counting down. So here you can see over here it's counting down, so you kind of know how long you have to wait till you get the green light to cross. So evidently we have to wait a little longer maybe. Nope, it just didn't count down on ours. It counted down on the other side. So earlier I went to the Jewish Refugee Museum. Now they had signs saying not to take pictures inside, so I didn't take any pictures inside. I did, however, take a few pictures outside, so I might post that in this video somewhere or in a separate post. So this is kind of an interesting looking area right here. Alright, so we'll go down this street, because I think at the end of this street is the Russian consulate. So this monument thing here on the left is they call it the Martyrs Memorial from from both what they call the Japanese Shanghai War, or you know what turned into World War II, and then maybe also from the Cultural Revolution. You know, the war between Mao Zedong and Shanghai Shek, his party, which of course, you know, the communist army won that, but we're not going to talk about that on this video. Alright, so we got some kind of new construction going on over here, and immediately in front of us is the Russian consulate. And this building here beside me, I have no idea what this building is. It definitely looks like some very older architecture. Okay, some kind of shop or something there. Kind of interesting what's around here. So here we go. We turn down here. You can see at the consulate, there's the Russian flag on top. At the consulate, they got Chinese army guards on the outside. So you would assume that somewhere in there would be some kind of like the Russian version of the Marines or whatever. But during the first gate, though, it is not. It's Chinese military, which is the same way with the U.S. consulate. All right, so we're going to cross this road, and this is a very well-known bridge leading to the Bund area. This bridge crosses Suzhou Creek, which is also a very famous area. I think this is called the Garden Bridge or something like that. Yeah, so here you can see this is the Garden Bridge. So it's completed in 1907, and it was the first long span bridge in Shanghai. So here we have, this is Suzhou Creek, and this would have been in the early 1900s, late 1800s. We are in what is known as the International Concession. So on the side I was just on, I came from, was the Japanese concession, and the side we're going to is the what was the called the International Settlement. So I don't know if you can see the bird down there. This is called a night heron, and they're all over the place. Lots of water. So we're currently over the middle of Suzhou Creek, and over there is Lujiaowei. This is the famous Shanghai skyline, and that river is the Huangpu River. So, all right, so I'm going to turn the camera off for a little while. All right, so here we're at the Bund, and so on this side of the Bund we have the view of Lujiaowei. We have the Pearl Tower. We have Shanghai Tower, the second largest building in the world. We have the Jinmao Tower. We have the World Financial Building, all on the other side of the Huangpu River here. This is an area where visitors come to this area to take pictures. I guess if you come here in the early morning, there'll be people out here exercising, doing things like that. This time of day, right now, it's a little warm. It's not as hot as it will get in the summer, though. Okay, and so on this side of the Bund, we have all these European-influenced buildings. So this is the what used to be called it was like the financial district. This is where the European banks, things like that, were all at. And a lot of these buildings are like really famous buildings over here. So here we have once again, we have Lujiaowei over there. This is the new financial center of Shanghai. So that district over there, that's Pudong, and we're in Huangpu right here. And on the other side of the river, we were in Hongqiao district. So we went from a couple different districts here. So Pudong is a really huge district. As you can see that this river is well used for commerce. So lots and lots of money goes up and down this river. carrying who knows what all kinds of goods. So that side over there, that's all part of the Bund financial area. Very famous buildings that you can look at pictures from 100 years ago, and much of these buildings look the same on this side, where the other side would have been farmland. So right now there's not a lot of people here, so the crowds are really small right now. This is a Saturday afternoon. If it was a holiday weekend or something, then it would have been overcrowded. You know, it would just be people everywhere. But right now it's fairly light crowds. It's not very busy at all here. So, and you might say, oh, it looks like a lot of people, but you know, compared to when it is busy here, yeah, it's not very busy. So Shanghai is one of these things that it's a tourist city. Lots of people like to come here from all over China to visit and shop and you know, to do the things that I don't know, Chinese people like to do. Lots of people like to take selfies in front of all the things, especially on the other side over here. They'll get in front of these buildings and they want to take selfies, and there'll be people also like selling pictures and stuff, you know, where you can get your picture taken by one of their photographers in front of the building, something like that. Alright, so we'll turn the video off for a minute and then we'll turn it back on and we'll get over to People's Pedestrian Street. Happened at that. So here we are. This is Nanjing Pedestrian Road. So you can see that there's no cars on this part of the road. This is an area where you kind of have to be careful of your personal belongings. So like I no longer you know, keep my billfold in a back pocket or anything. Keep it in the front pocket. Don't want to, you know, just be noticeable. There may be people come up and offer you things. Hey, you know, want to buy a watch, or you want to go try some tea. Don't ever go with those people. Just, you know, no thanks. Go on. There's lots of shops. Some of them are maybe souvenirs, but lots of food, lots of high-end stores. We'll see a little farther on down. We'll have some high-end stores, you know, like luxury good items, those kind of places. So it'll be interesting to see if anybody comes up and tries to normally, now that I have this camera in my hand, nobody may come up and say anything, but a lot of times if I just come walk down here, you get lots of people trying to you know, they'll oh, you know, sell you a watch or have you go do tea or something else, and all that's, it's a scam. Because even if you do buy something, it's not going to be, you know, it's not going to be an expensive watch. It's just going to have an expensive watch name, or they'll go take you to tea and you won't see the, you know, the menu or whatever, and then when you get the bill, it's, you know, you spent $500 or $600 on, you know, $5 worth of tea or something. So even though this is pedestrian, there is some intersections here like this that have cars and e-bikes and stuff that go. So All right, so this looks a little more busier than the Bund did earlier. Although I would imagine that as it turns to evening, the Bund will get even more busy because people like to go down there when the buildings across the river are all lit up. And it's pretty nice. You know, it's a nice view when everything's lit up, and even this little road's a nice view when everything's lit up. So it's interesting. Yeah, once again, just lots of people. Got one of the Apple stores here, Samsung on the other side. There's an interesting store down here that it's M&M's. You can go in there and you can buy M&M's. So maybe we'll walk in there when we get there. I think this camera may be really good at keeping people away from trying to scam you, because I haven't had anybody come up to me, which has kind of been nice. Normally I'd have 3 or 4 people already come up trying to sell me a watch or tea or, you know, some other kind of scam that they do like that. So I think this is a, you know, maybe bring a camera with me, and even if I'm not recording anything, you know, just hold a camera like this, and you know, these people don't want to be on camera if they come up to you. So hello. Oh, no thanks. So there you go, right there. So I did have, yeah, one guy come up. I don't know what he was trying to sell, but that's just, you know, no thanks. You know, not interested. Sometimes they'll be persistent. Sometimes they'll follow you for a few hundred feet or something, and you know, usually if they do that, like, I'll just go on into a store or something, say, you know, and come back out a little bit later. But yeah, but they are a scam. So if you ever visit Shanghai and you're walking down this street, and there's a couple other streets evidently that it's kind of the same thing, just know it is a scam, and you know, whatever you buy from them, you're going to pay much more than it's worth. Alright, so here's kind of a shopping mall that's for it's geared towards kids. Got lots of kids stuff. And I see the M&M store. We'll go take a look at the M&M store and let you see what's there here in a minute. We'll have to stop for another light here. Hello. Yeah, so I just had a woman come up, ni hao, hello, and then she saw I had a camera, and she's like, oh, nice camera, and she walked on. So she's not didn't want to be on camera trying to scam me out of some money. So I think the thing is, if you come someplace like this, look up, like, online, what kind of scams do people do here. I think as far as physical safety, I don't think there's any problem. You can come down here, you know, 11 o'clock at night midnight, you're going to be okay. But as far as somebody trying to take your money, that's a different story. And there's no shame in, they feel no shame in doing that. Although I would say, I talked to a lot of like my students and stuff. My students come down here. I think when it comes to a lot of these scams, they're really generated at foreigners, tourists. And so a lot of the Chinese people would be like, oh, it'd make them mad as well too, because they're making their city look bad. Just a minority of people that are doing these things. So that makes them upset. So here we are. This is the M&M store, and it's pretty interesting. I've been in here before. They got lots of, you can get shirts, you can get lots of things. So if you like M&Ms, you can get shirts, you can, lots of things. Tie-dyes, there's more upstairs. Gumball machines. Mugs, water bottles. Alright, so we'll walk upstairs here. A little crazy. We have the Great Wall of China. Here we have the Great Wall of Chocolate. And I don't know if the M&Ms here are more expensive than if you go buy them in the store or not. They probably are. I think some of it's kind of just the experience of coming in here. The smell of here, very much smell of chocolate. So here is where you can check out when you buy your M&Ms. Lots of people taking pictures in here as well. Alright, so we'll leave this madness and we'll go back down to the street. So we'll walk into People's Park next. It's over here a little ways. And so when this area was controlled by foreign interests, so here's the thing. Shanghai had what they called the French Quarter, the international, there's Americans and British and some other companies. There was the Japanese part. So a lot of the central part of Shanghai, for like through the 1800s and early 1900s, these areas were actually controlled by foreign countries, and so they, this area had its own government, had their own police forces, had lots of things. So you would have had British police, American police, in different areas. They had different laws. If you went into the French concession, you might have different laws than you do here. If you go into a Chinese area, it'd be different laws. Unfortunately, I think there was also a lot of kind of like racist feelings too against a lot of the Chinese people in their own country were kind of second-class citizens, to some of the foreign interests at the time. Alright, so here we're coming into the park. Okay, this is kind of what I'm talking about, cosplay. See, that kind of a thing. So a lot of people here at the entrance of the park. And there may be something interesting that we see here. I'm not sure yet. If we do, I'm not going to focus too much on it and talk about it when I walk through. All right, so I'll explain that here in a minute. For now, we got people feeding the fishes. So I don't know. See the koi. Somebody's threw some bread or something in there to them. Alright, so what you saw back there when we entered the park is something that's, I guess it's unique to this park, but it's people advertising their sons and daughters, trying to find them wives and husbands, because their sons and daughters are in their late 20s, early 30s. So the parents are trying to find them a wife or a husband. So this is one of the nice things Shanghai has, is there are parks all over the city. So even though I live in an area that's outside of the city center, I have a park there that I can go to. But all of Shanghai is like that. Even right here, with skyscraper buildings surrounding us, you can be here in the park, and it's kind of peaceful. And it's not just here, like I said. This city has parks all over the place.